Hey Whitney, thank you so much for joining me today. I have a few questions here. They're a little more on the weird side, but hey, who doesn't like the weird side? Who doesn't like the paranormal? It's cool stuff. So I enjoy looking into it myself. So I saw that you do some paranormal investigations, things like that on your own. So I figured we could come together and just really discuss some of the more out there issues.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on your channel. I'm excited to be here and answer all of these questions. And a big hello to anyone who is watching this video.
So it looks like you've been studying the paranormal for some time. What really inspired you to start doing that?
The paranormal kind of really drew me in as a child, and I wanted to learn more and like, what is this? Is this actually real? And I do believe that there is a unseen spiritual world out there, and I always want to learn more.
So do you remember your first true paranormal experience after you started looking into these places?
So I can't specifically remember my first paranormal experience, but growing up I did hear noises in my home, voices, footsteps, and things like that. And then in high school, I had this crazy paranormal encounter. And I have this on my channel where I talk about it several years ago, but I was camping with my family and hanging out with my friends in the camper while the parents was outside by the fire. We had music playing, and all of a sudden I heard static come over the radio and interrupt the song that was playing, and I heard, "Somebody help." And here we are, just so scared. Me and all my friends were screaming, and then all of a sudden the static quit and the song resumed. And the next day we heard on the radio that someone had passed away near the campground. And so I'm like, okay, that was not just a coincidence at all. And so I started looking more into it. I didn't really tell anyone I was into the paranormal. And then I saw other people on YouTube doing paranormal videos, so I was like, well, I guess it's not too weird. Maybe people will accept me. And so I started going to a lot of historical places that were known to be haunted, and I started doing investigations there.
What is the most intense paranormal experience that you've experienced firsthand?
That is so hard to answer, because anytime spirit comes through, I'm just like blown away. I believe it, but I'm like, yeah, I love this confirmation when spirit comes through. So I was just thinking about this story a few days ago. I will never forget what happened. I was in a tuberculosis hospital, and this isn't Waverly, this was a different hospital. It is torn down now, but I was filming that night with two other friends, and we were up on the 3rd floor when we hear whispering. We're looking at each other like, what? No one's in here. How could we be hearing this? Like, what? We're like looking, I'm like scared. Snuggled up to my friends a little bit, like, and the room is empty. Everything had been taken out of the hospital pretty much, besides a few abandoned hospital beds. There's no point of entry or exit besides through us. And we're like, hello, is there a spirit? And we hear, yes. It's like this low whisper. And we're like, did you die here? And they said yes. We asked their name, and they said Bethany. And I just can't even believe this happened. At the time, I was just so frightened. And then a train went by and drowned out the voice. And I was just looking at my friends like, did you hear that? And we're like, yeah, all 3 of us heard it. And I was haunted for months after. Pretty crazy. I had these dreams. My car would go off at 3 a.m., my car alarm. And it was a spirit coming through telling me that they were trapped. Their spirit was trapped in the hospital, which is pretty crazy. It was a child contacted me, and I saw months later on Facebook, and the part of the hospital that we was in was a children's ward, and that pretty much confirms to me that was definitely a spirit trying to contact me. Pretty crazy.
When it comes to parallel dimensions and timelines, do you think that these spirits could be people living in, let's say, other dimensions or some other type of energy being or some other being living in another version of our reality, maybe like a higher dimension or lower dimension. Maybe even people from a different time. Like maybe time is kind of folding in on itself, possibly.
Oh, definitely. I believe that anything is possible. I'm not ruling anything out. We as humans in this physical world, it's hard for us to ever know the truth until we pass on ourselves. But absolutely, I definitely believe in other dimensions. And who knows, maybe that bump in the night is from another dimension and we're hearing that. And maybe that dimension hears us and thinks that we're ghosts. Who knows? Who knows? I believe that anything is possible. That's a really good question.
So I'm really curious about this, and this is kind of a loaded question, but I really just want to know what your opinions are on where we go when we die, because I know that you have some religious background, then you have some spiritual background, and then, you're doing these investigations. So what's really your thoughts on where people go?
I know it's a little bit controversial because I do believe in God. I believe that there is a creator. That is my personal beliefs. If you believe differently, that's okay to anyone who's watching this. But I don't know what exactly happens when we pass. I do not think that we just die. I don't think we perish. I think that we move on to the afterlife in the spiritual world. But what that looks like, I'm not sure. I think that if we are a good-hearted person, we ascend to a higher dimension, maybe a angelic heaven-like realm, yes. But yeah, I don't know. But I know that when we die on this physical world, it's not the end, and I don't fear what happens then. I do think it will be grand, and I do think we'll be with our loved ones. I do. I believe in that afterlife, in that higher realm, but there is also spirits on earth, and that doesn't really give an explanation of why are there spirits on earth. There's also these higher dimensions as well. I guess we won't really know the truth until we pass on ourselves.
Do you believe that world religions have different pieces to the puzzle, but not one religion truly has the full picture? Maybe they all connect in some way, though?
That is exactly what I personally believe. I don't think that any one religion or spiritual practice has all of the answers or the piece to the puzzle. I think that we are always trying to figure that out, and I don't think we'll fully know. But all of these different spiritual practices and religions, no matter how different they are, the main focus is that higher realm and the creator and God. Most of them are. I mean, some religions believe in different gods and multiple gods, but there are a lot that believe in the Almighty God.
Do you believe in angels? Do you see them more so as living beings, or do you see them more so as like spirits or embodiments of things? What I mean to say is, do you see them as created beings, or do you see them more so as the spirits of humans transcended in some way, or some other being that transcended?
So I definitely believe in angels because I've seen them. I've experienced them. The ones that I've seen have not had physical bodies. They were energetic beings, of light, warm golden light. And they did not speak to me directly. They spoke to me telepathically. Now, I know that this sounds outrageous to the average person, but if we open our eyes, we believe in the unbelievable, and we awaken our consciousness, we'll start seeing a lot more.
Now, speaking on the physical side of the paranormal, do you believe in things like Bigfoot and El Chupacabra, things like that? Mothman?
Ooh, Mothman. I would love to go to Point Pleasant one day and investigate him, but that's besides the point. So I think that these cryptids, it's very possible that they could be a real thing. There are people out there who have had experiences with them that will look you dead in the eyes and tell you that they definitely saw one. And I can't say that they're lying because I don't know, but I tend to think that they could be out there.
Now, here's the weird part about it. Do you think that these physical embodiments are actually beings, or do you think that they're like a spiritual embodiment of something else?
I don't think that these cryptids are real, like an animal. I think that they are like paranormal, like a spiritual being. That's why you don't see bones or dead carcasses of these cryptids, because even though they look like they have a physical body, they are a spiritual being. Like, they're non-physical, but they have a physical body, if that makes sense.
Kind of expanding on that, do you think they could be aliens or some kind of secret lab experiment, or do you think they're more so like a missing link in evolution?
I don't doubt that it could be any of those things. Those are really good theories. I do not know. No one has ever asked me this question, but I've been reading the Book of Enoch. It was this book in the Bible that was taken out of the modern day Bible. And it is a really interesting story. It talks about the fallen angels. They mated with human women and created beasts. And who knows? Maybe that's what Bigfoot is. And he is stuck on Earth for eternity. I don't know. I really don't have an answer. I would like to investigate to see and learn more about these cryptids. I really haven't done a whole lot of research on them. I did go to Pope Lick, kind of like where I live in Kentucky. We have a cryptid. Bigfoot has been sighted, but also the Pope Lick monster. So I would like to do more research on them before I can give a true guesstimate on what I think they are.
Do you believe in demons? Do you think they're different from angels? Do you think they're fallen angels, or do you think they're a whole different type of being? Do you believe they could be the evil spirits of humans or some other being that has been corrupted?
I don't think that they were people that once lived on the earth that were bad and that just passed away and then they turned into a demon. I don't think that humans manifest that powerful upon death. It takes a very powerful being. So yes, they could possibly be fallen angels that have turned into that, because they're angelic beings, very powerful beings.
What about energies, spiritual stones, and celestial bodies affecting things here on Earth and kind of representing that in a celestial, cosmic way? How do you view that?
I think that all of those things can play a part with energy and affect the Earth. I mean, look at the moon, okay? On a full moon, the tides of the ocean change. It's proven that during a full moon, the emergency room at the hospitals are normally full. People are emotional. Everything plays a part with energy and how people act. As far as stones go, I love crystals. I'm a crystal collector. But people claim that they have a lot of healing properties, and each one means a different thing. And, I don't specifically use it like that. I just think it's pretty. But maybe this has more energy, a higher vibration than, let's say, something ceramic or man-made versus the crystal that comes directly from the earth and isn't processed. So yeah, I think everything plays a part, and it's not just one specific thing that affects the earth. It's everything, because everything is energy. We are energy.
Do you believe in the Fae?
I personally have never had a run-in with the fairy. There are people that claim they are real. I've seen video footage that looks like real fairies on security cameras and such, and some people claim to work with the Fae and leave offerings for them, yet others say do not work with them or something bad is going to happen.
Do you believe they are living beings, or physical embodiments of elements and nature, or maybe some kind of spirit even?
I think that they are some type of spirit. That's why not many of us have run-ins with fairies. Maybe they're a spirit. Maybe everything comes from one source, including the cryptids. And scrap what I think they are, and what if everything comes from one true source of energy or beings, but they portray in different bodies, if that makes sense.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. I really feel like I learned a lot about your viewpoints and just kind of brought me into this realm of thinking about things a little more loosely, thinking more about spiritual embodiments could be something else, or aliens could be something else. I really like asking the questions and bringing the questions to the forefront. So thank you for taking the time and doing that with me. I feel like we really accomplished a good amount of that. So
yeah, thank you so much for having me. You had some well thought out questions, and I enjoyed answering them. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
hey, thank you all for watching. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my patrons. Thank you all so much for everything you do to support what I do. Vexus, CNK114, Investigator Zeus, Dobby's Music, Jerry Mullins, and Phantasm7. Thank you all again for keeping this channel and my other projects going.